I'm going to show you how to use the Scratch Music extension to code music in Scratch. So you find the music extension here, along with a lot of other extensions, down the bottom left of the Scratch page. You go here where it says Play Music, and you'll have code specifically for doing music. Now, for what we want to do is we're going to code some simple nursery rhymes and create an orchestra eventually. We're going to mainly use this one here, Play Note. So we bring that over. When we click on it, it plays a note. Now it says 60. It doesn't really tell us much, but when we click on it, it brings up a small piano, and that's the code for C note. It's not the frequency, it's just the code they use for C. So what we're going to do is we're going to code Barney song, and the first little part, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So if you look at the notes, the first line starts with a G. So even if I don't know piano, I can just count up and find the G note. And that's going to play the G note. Every time I click on it, it'll play the G note. My next note is the E note. So I just bring the next one under, drop it here. I got E, C, D, E. Then I've got another G note. Alright, and then I repeat that same thing. So that's the first part. I'll bring the next part in. I'm going to put in another G note in. I'm going to put now an E note, and then finish up with the G note. Okay, so if I play this, if I click on here to play all these in succession, so it's the correct notes, but it doesn't sound right because the rhythm's wrong. And so for the worksheet they'll do, for the songs they'll do on this, you give them the notes, but they have to figure out the rhythm. And in this case, if we listen to it, the I love you, you love me, it holds this note out a little longer. So I'm going to double it. I'm going to make it, instead of being a quarter note, it's a half note. So quarter, 0.25, half note is 0.5. And it should have the same thing here. So let's see what it sounds like now. That sounds like the right one for the Barney song. So now we'll code the second line. Now one of the problems you're going to run into is you notice there's lots of notes on this, and you're going to have a long string of notes that's confusing. So what I suggest is that every time you put a line in, you click on right click on the first note you're playing and add a comment. And it's important that you click on the note rather than beside it, because this ties the comment to that particular note. And the advantage of that is if I decide to move the whole thing, it stays with it. If I put it out, if I don't click on it, if I click beside it, it'll float, the comment will float. So this is my first line. So let's add the second line. And since I'm adding the first note of my second line, I'm going to go ahead and add a comment here saying second line. That way I can keep track of where I am. Alright, now, second line I'll start with an A. So I'm going to put my A in. And then I got to add a G in. And then an F. And then an E. And then I'm going to add a D. And then an E and an F. And finally is an F. Alright, so now let's listen to it now. And that sounds pretty much like the Barney song. I'm going to go and change this last one. I know that this is a longer note. If I don't change it, it'll run into the next line. But we'll just stop with those two lines. The last thing you should put in here, this will work as it is, but for later it will be useful if we can control this rather than clicking on it, if we can control it with a flag. So I'm going to put the flag on the top. And now every time I click the flag, with something on the top right, it's going to give me, play the whole thing.